Hey everybody, it is me, Miss Sarika, and I am your science teacher this year for 8th grade, and this is your video syllabus. So in case you haven't had a chance to look at the packet yet, or you just want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, this is your video syllabus to get all the details about 8th grade science this year. So this is your syllabus. And I want to go over a couple of the things on here that I talk about, specifically the grading policy. Now, this is going to be kind of aligned more with something called standards-based grading. And standards-based grading is an approach that has a lot of research behind it, and districts across the country are adopting this policy. And so I'm incorporating some of that into my classroom. Now, the grades are going to overall be on a traditional report card, but in general, the basic idea of the standards-based approach is something that we're going to see. So a couple questions that you might have is, well, how is this going to be different? First of all, everything's going to be just out of a percentage, and those percents are going to correspond to a certain level of mastery of the content. And in the syllabus, you will see a rubric like this. And on that rubric, you'll have a chance to look at that when you get the syllabus yourselves. There are different point values that correspond to a certain level of mastery. For example, a 5 would mean you get everything and you're able to expand on it. A 0 would say that you don't have enough evidence for me to know that you understand the concepts. So how is that going to look in the grade book? Well, instead of it just being like a 0, a 5, a 3, those are going to correlate to a percentage. So if you got 100%, that correlates to a 5. If you have a 0, that would be correlated to a 50%. Now, the reason that I do a 50% as the lowest score possible has to kind of do more with the mathematics behind it. So if you think about a 0 to a 50% is, 50-point range there, and then there's 10 for a D, 10 for a C, 10 for a B, 10 for an A. Well, that doesn't really make sense, and it's not very fair to kids who might have been struggling or just need some more time to learn material. So what I'm going to do is cut it off at a 50%. So 50% is the lowest that you can get. So if you really bomb something, you really don't understand it, it's not going to totally annihilate your grade. It gives you that opportunity to still be able to show that you demonstrated content mastery throughout the quarter. On that note, if you don't understand something and you are having trouble with information, I have a redo retake policy open and available to any student for any activity. There are some conditions though, because in life we never just get things perfectly all the time, even though, I do. Just kidding. But we are always trying to improve and work and expand on what we know. And sometimes failure is a part of that. Always it is. You never ride your bike the first time when you get your training wheels off. You're probably going to fall a couple times before you figure it out. Same thing when you learn content like science. So what will happen is you'll do something like a practice activity that I'll create or have a reflection of some kind, and you're going to be able to retake the assignment. It might be different, but it's going to be similar enough that you will have the opportunity to show that you understand the content. I will have a mandatory retake, though, for any student who gets below a D. So if you fail something, then you better believe I'm going to make you learn it. That's my job, and we're going to work together to make sure that you get what you need to understand. So those are the big kind of concepts with this grading approach. The other is that instead of it just being like test, quiz, project, whatever those categories might be, you're going to see the categories broken down by standard. So we're going with themes of understanding. Forces in motion, we'll have the physical earth, we'll have species and reproduction, and we'll also have reading, writing in science, as well as science skills. So together we're going to be working through these themes throughout the year, and the grades are going to be organized based on those themes so that you and your parents know and where you're kind of struggling and where you might be being successful with the content. And I feel like it's a valuable tool to help you become more involved in your learning, help you know where you struggle, help you know where you are succeeding, and just make you more aware of your learning overall. And that's ultimately the goal. Middle school is just one step in the process of growing up and one step of learning, and the older you get, you're expected to be more independent. So this is going to help you develop some of those skills of self-awareness and self-regulating, so that you have those capabilities as you get older to make those choices for yourself and to give you the chance to fix the mistakes that you see instead of an adult just telling you always what you need to do to improve. We're going to use a lot of technology this year. You've been probably familiar with using the Chromebooks, and we'll be using those a lot. We'll be doing labs online, we will be communicating online, you will be doing work online, and we'll be even making a digital portfolio online for you to share your work as well as share some of your thoughts about what we're learning. We're going to use tons of different sites, and you can go to our team website, nomsblueteam.com, where you can access my website as well as the website resources from all of your other teachers on the Blue Team, which is awesome. When you go to my site, which is sarikascience.com, you'll be able to get to all the different resources I have available for you. If you're watching this video, you're already at sarikascience.com, so you already know. You can check up above somewhere here, and you can go look for the different content that we're going to be learning. You can get my blog page, which hopefully I'll be updating with some of the things that we're doing in class, and get other information about what we're doing in class. In this class, we are using something called an interactive learning log, or an IL. And here is my copy that I made last year. You can see we're going to keep all sorts of notes and labs and things we'll call processing activities, reflections, and it's going to become your physical portfolio. And it might seem a little daunting, but there's lots of research behind using these as well, and why it's beneficial to learning, especially scientists. Scientists throughout the ages have been using these kind of interactive notebooks for themselves to record data, keep reflections, and it's a part of our science experience as well. I'll be using Remind this year, and I'm sure you're familiar with using that as well. And in your syllabus, there are directions on how you can sign up for that, and that's a really easy way to get information, obviously, but I love it for communicating as well. So you can get the app, you can use email, you can text, and get information from me and ask me questions directly. And I'll have my office hours, they call it, open from I think 7 a.m. until about 8 p.m. at night. So you can even send a message at night, and as long as I'm available, not running around with my daughter trying to get her into the bath or get her some dinner, I'll be able to answer your questions, because I know sometimes things pop up when you're at home trying to get things done. This year in science, you are going to be taking the state test for science in 8th grade, and that's going to consist of all the content that we're doing in 8th grade. Now, while this is, some importance to us as educators and learners, it is not the only thing that we're going to be thinking about throughout the year. So the big goal for this year is to work on how to become a better learner. And with all the great activities and the labs and the interactive, collaborative kinds of things we're doing in groups, all of that work that we're going to do is going to totally prepare you for the test at the end of the year. And we'll do a little bit of review, but it's not going to be our main focus. And hopefully with all the great activities that we're going to do and the great work you're going to put in, you'll be very prepared, and it's nothing that you'll have to feel worried about. I'm really looking forward to having a great year in science with you guys, and definitely please feel free to contact me. My contact information, well, there's one at the bottom of the website there. You can contact me. You can also reach me through email at lindsay.sarika@nocseagles.org. And you can also go through Remind, and that's a really quick way, because I know you can use texting features on your phone, and sometimes that's the easiest, I understand. So please feel free to get in touch with any questions you might have. I'm looking forward to a great year learning about you guys, learning about science together, and helping you become better learners and better scientists.